Hello everybody. Welcome you all at Learning is Fun with Prajnaparamita. Today I am going to read a poem with you. The poem by Emily Bronte, and the name of the poem is Mild the Mist Upon the Hill. And this is a very beautiful poem based on natural imagery, and there is a beautiful description of the nature in this poem as well. And after reading this poem, I am going to tell you the explanation for the important phrases used in this poem as well. So don't waste our time. Let's see and let's read about the poem. First, before read the poem, we have to know some point regarding the poet. Who is the poet and what are the unique thing of her writing? First, this poem was written by the famous poet and the novelist Emily Bronte. She was born 30th July 1880, and she was one of the famous Bronte sisters, and her pseudonym, that is, there was a nickname, you can say that her pseudonym was Alice Bell, and her best work, the world famous work, was Wuthering Heights. This is a beautiful novel. You can read it when you are grown up or at any age. You can read that novel. This is a beautiful novel, and much of her popularity came from this novel as well. And she died at very early age, and it was in 1848 due to tuberculosis. Now, who were these Bronte sisters? These Bronte sisters was Jane, that is the author of Jane Eyre, Charlotte Bronte, Anne Bronte, the author of The Tenant of Wildale Hall, and Emily Bronte. These three ladies known as, or these three sisters known as Bronte sisters. Now, before read the poem, we have to know few things related to the poem. That is, what is the theme of the poem? The theme, actually, there are, we can say that there are four thematic things the poet used to or like to show us, that is, there is a link between human sentiment and the natural element. In this poem, we actually know, or we actually came across the point how the natural imagery gives the poet an opportunity to look back into her past days or into her childhood days, and there is a sadness, there is a overshadow of sadness, and of course there is the remedies. The poet also tells us how to overcome from that sadness, and childhood innocence is another important theme of the poem. And there is an intermingling of present and past, and the present experience of the poet gives her an opportunity to retrospect into her past days. This is an important thing, because when the poem opens, the poet describes a present scenario, but gradually the poet introspects or looks back to her past days, and where she found all her happy moments spent with her family and father. And this natural imagery gives the poet an opportunity to see back to her childhood days, and finally she again comes back to her present days as well. And there is an open-ended ending to the poem. The poet doesn't say anything about or any direct direction to us. It is upon us to interpret the ending of the poem according to our feeling. Now, the important thing, what is the uniqueness of the title? If you look at the title of the poem, we do not find any definite title to the poem, because the first line of the poem serves the purpose of the title to the poem. And the interesting point is that the use of alliteration, that is, the repetition of the consonant sound, is there. That is, mire the mist upon the hill. M sound is repeated here, and this is adds a strong feeling to the poem. The poet did not give any definite title for the poem, as I have told you. The first line, of course, served as the title for the poem. Now, let's see the first stanza of the poem. Mild the mist upon the hill, telling not of storms tomorrow. No, the day has wept its fill, spent its store of silent sorrow. So, what is the mist? If you look at the picture, you find mist means the condensed vapor at the hilltop. So here, some condensed vapor of the hilltop give rise to certain things or certain optimistic ideas that there will be no more rain. And here, the strong words are storm, wave, sorrows, that indicates that the present days, the thing which is full of hazard, disturbance, and untold pain. So, and the poet here very optimistic, because the poet says that telling not of storm tomorrow. So this means there will be no more storm. If there was storm, it was over. All the pains and sorrows come to an end. So this is an optimistic tone. And another thing, no, the day has wept its fill. That means the day has wept and there is nothing stored into his heart. There is nothing stored into the heart of nature. It's wept. And the natural imagery here, and there is a link between natural imagery and human sentiment. Where is the link? Because here you find the day has wept its fill. The day is compared to a weeping lady who is weeping and weeping and weeping it's full-heartedly, and no more weep or no more grief or sorrows are stored into her heart anymore. That is, pains its store of silent sorrow. There was suppressed sorrows into her heart, and she spent everything by weeping. Now, the first line of this poem tells us the world is taking a break from being sorrowful, and there was no more rain. That means no more hazard or storm or nothing, and the tomorrow is painless. You can say there is no pain for tomorrow. And the second line, the important thing is that no storm tomorrow. That is, storm signifies any kind of trouble or disturbance. So if we say that no more storm or no storm, that means everything spent, everything gone away, and now the future is free from all struggle and hazards. Now, The third line, as I have told you, there is a personification, that is, the day is compared to a weeping lady, and the silent sorrow. This is another important thing. Why the sorrows are silent? Because in some of our sorrows or pain which we can't express, that is hidden or deeply buried into our heart, that is why the sorrows are untold. Now, the stanza 2. Oh, I'm gone back to the days of youth. I'm a child once more, and beneath my father's sheltering roof, and near the old hall door. This is a significant stanza. The first stanza, the poet starts from her present days. She actually describes a present scenario or natural landscape, and that present natural landscape give her an opportunity to look back into her past days. And which past days? That is the days of childhood, when she was a child. And here the process of recollection starts. If we walk into our memory lane, we sometimes feel happy with the memories of childhood, and childhood memories makes her happy. Why it is happy? Because it is secure with love and care, and of course it is safe, the feeling of safety. That is, I'm gone back to my days of youth. It is when now she is not youth or child anymore. She is now adult. So the natural imagery gives her an opportunity to goes back to her youth and childhood days. And the poet says, I'm a child once more, and beneath my father's sheltering roof. This is a very important phrase I will discuss at the last half of this video lesson. And near the old hall door, and the old hall door, this is again the significant phrase. Why? It is because the old hall door and the father's sheltering roof all signifies for her the shelter which is secured by love, care, and safety. So her childhood was secured with love, care, and safety, and that is why she was very happy in her childhood days. Now look at the third stanza. This stanza also, the poet recollects her past days. I watch these cloudy evening. This is the present scenario after a day of rain. That is, first two lines, the poet told us about that natural imagery, that is the cloudy evening and after a day of rain. That is the rain and cloud, all these things tells the poet about the what you say, that troubles of life. Blue mist, sweet mist of summer fall, that is blue mist. The poet gives the mist a beautiful and sweet color, because it is for her, the poet is actually, as she looking at the mist, it recalls her happiness, it connects to her feeling of happiness, because there will be no more trouble, no more rain for the next day, and these things makes the poet happy. So she said that blue mist, as sweet mist of summer fall. Fall means fog, and the word summer is very significant. Why the fall? If we say that fall is fog, fog is a word with negative connotation, but when we juxtapose this negative word with the positive signing word, that is summer. Summer stand for sunny day, that is a vibrant sunny day. So this is a good fog for the poet, because these type of mist actually forecast there will be no more rain for the next day, and the next day must be sunny. The horizon's mountain chain, and that blue mist actually condensed at the horizon mountain plain. This is again the poet describes her present landscape scenario. Now, there was a melancholic flashback. As we read this stanza, there is an unpleasant experience in terms of rain, cloud, and positive and pleasant note, because the blue mist and sweet mist, summer fall, and the mist, that is a recurrent metaphor for the poem that shows the whole ray of hope. Now, the fourth stanza. The damp stand in the long green grass, as thick as morning tears, and dreamy scents of fragrance pass that breathe of other ears. So here you find damp stands on the long green grass. What is damp? This is the dewdrops. The dewdrops are compared to a morning's tears. That is, again, the dewdrops are personified, and the day is again, the nature is personified, and perhaps the nature is weeping, and the morning tears is the dewdrops. And dreamy scent of fragrance, this dreamy scent is very significant. Why this is dreamy scent? Because the dreamy scent signifies the future hope and prosperity, the optimistic note. Breathe of the other years, and these optimistic note stay, or this is the thing you can store for the future. The future is positive and optimistic as well. Now, in the third stanza, we find the third person narration. That is, here the poet doesn't say I. Instead of that, like a third person narrator, he describes the whole stanza, and he used personification, the optimistic tone, and the open-ended ending. Now, let's see some important explanation for some phrases. That is, mist. What is the meaning of mist? Mist means the condensed vapor, not storm tomorrow. That means future is free from any hustle. Not storm signify hustle. And why, or when you say that not storm, that means there was no storm, the future is hustle free. Not, no, these words are used, these strong negative words are used, the strong negation to suggest a positive attitude here. Day has wept its fill. That means rainy day. The day is personified to a lady who has spent all her sorrows in terms of care. To its fill means all, everything. Okay. Store of silent sorrows. That means here there is an use of alliteration, as I have told you. When the consonant sound are repeated in a sentence, it is called a personification. And here you find S sound is repeated. Store, silent, and sorrow, and to suggest a strong feeling of silent sorrow, untold pain buried deep into the heart of the poet. Next, Days of Youth, that is a flashback. Actually, the poet is recollecting her past days with her family and father. Child once more. That means here the poet recollects her childhood days, that makes her happy and pleasant memories of her childhood. As she was a child, my father's sheltering roof. This is an important phrase. Inside her father's house, the house, home, and protection. The house signify home and protection and sheltering roof and interesting desire to feel safe. Old hall door suggests the longing, that is old hall door, which is the poet knows that thing, and she is longing to return back to her old days. This stanza, the second stanza, is totally talking about the childhood memories and her past days. Now, after a day of rain, that means here, after a day of rain, rain signifies the miseries and unpleasant experience. So, after a day of rain signifies the bygone unpleasant experience. Blue mist, sweet mist, the pleasant colors as well as positive description, because the mist is a very recurrent metaphor in this poem, and it is all over the poem you find, and the mist gives the poet an opportunity to look back into her past days. Summer pall, this is another important word. Pall is the fog, the word with negative connotation, because fog is not good always, is prefixed with the word summer. Summer suggests a pleasant and sunny feeling. Now, damp stands, damps is here dew, and morning tears, dews are described as morning tears, and here we find same thing, the personification, dreamy scent of fragrance past, mystic sweet smell that makes the poet happy. Hope you like this video lesson. If you have any queries, please do comment in the comment section. I definitely reply them. And moreover, if you like this video lesson really, do not forget to press the like button as well. So no more today. Thank you for listening and bye-bye.